So before we start developing this game, I just wanted to cover why this game is at this point in the course. It's a good deal shorter, this one, than the previous section, which was really, really long. And this one is here because it covers, I think, a really, really important point for your game development future, really. And that's actually not using the IDE to build your levels and things, but to use code. The reason this is important is because it's something that you find yourself, when you get more experience, gravitating to anyway. And that's irrespective of the engine. That's not just for Godot, but say Unity or something else. Usually when you get a lot of experience, you find yourself building the game almost entirely from code. And this actually becomes necessary when you have an app that's, say, deployed on multiple platforms. So imagine you have an app of Solcobun, for example, and you decide to add a level or change a level in just one way. It would be very annoying to have to completely package and redeploy an update for your app just for one simple change. A much more common way of doing things is to have a server, and all of your apps hit that server when they're started, and they then get the latest information, usually in JSON format, and that information is then used to build the levels and set various settings and things like that. So bearing this in mind, I thought this game was a good opportunity to show you how to do that, and it comes with another nice side effect as well, and that's actually the manipulation of tile maps from inside the code. So we'll be building our levels, which are tile maps, as you can see on the screen here, entirely from the JSON that we get back. We'll read it into internal classes, and each time the player selects a level, we will actually build this level from scratch from those classes. Not only that, but we'll also be pushing boxes and things around. That means we'll be actually moving, removing and placing tiles from inside the code whilst playing the game. And I wanted to put that particular feature somewhere in this course because I know it's a really sought after feature, and there's often very little material showing how to do that. And that's something you're really going to need. For example, if you want to make a farming game or a resources game or something like that, usually your tiles are the crops and things like that, but they have different tiles depending on, I don't know, how much of the crop is remaining or what kind of state it's in. It's usually lots of different tiles being switched out and moved around very, very quickly, and you can't do that with a static level. So you need to be able to know how to manipulate tiles from code. The API in Godot is particularly good at this, but like I said, there's often very little material. Before we start, one final word to this section itself. It's going to contain a lot fewer challenges than the previous sections because you've done a huge amount of them so far, and it's really going to be very simple in terms of the UI and things like that. I want to use this one just to concentrate on the things that you can see on the screen here. It's the tile manipulation, generating levels, and JSON serialization. The rest of it you've already done many, many times before. And actually the next game is the one that's really going to challenge you a lot to reinforce everything you've done on the course. Therefore, this one's really going to focus on these learning points, and the rest of it we're sort of going to go through at a relatively high pace with relatively few challenges because it's just repetition of things you've done many times already. So hopefully that's okay with you because you've done many, many challenges and things so far. And in the next lesson, we can take a look at getting started.